And it was like,
Hey, wait.
Kaze got injured, so I couldn't use him anymore, and I was so confused.
Right. Why?
Anyways, you're gonna get through these.
No, I'm just doing this one, just because
this one?
we haven't seen Dedu in like forever, and it's already an hour and a half on this video, and I've probably got at least 15 minutes more of supports to go through.
You think you would have been happy
So-
about that?
That's true.
No, I do not.
Then why protect me? I thought you were his mindless weapon, sword and shield.
I heard about your brother. He was a Dusker. He died to protect His Highness.
He did, but I don't see what that has to do with anything. Are you repaying some kind of debt? I hope you're not going to praise his death. I hear enough of that from my old man.
I will not praise it then. Instead, I will say I would have done the same in his position. Is it really so unnatural to put one's life on the line to protect a brother in arms?
To hear a rabid dog call me a brother in arms.
Your insults are merely an attempt to avoid addressing me as what I am. I am a man of Dusker, yet you were concerned for my life.
Concerned is a strong word. Your death would have been unpleasant, that's all.
Coming from you, that is enough.
What's that supposed to mean? I just meant... Never mind. Okay, go ahead, protect me. But if you act like a fool and get yourself killed, I'll kill you.
Sorry, I love it when people say something like that. If you get yourself killed, I'm going to kill you.
Yep.
One of my favorite lines from Babylon 5.
And then Dedu, how can you kill me if I am already dead?
Right. One of my favorite lines, though, from Babylon 5 is when Steven, Lita, and Garibaldi are all together. And Garibaldi's been, like, messed up in the mind for a while because of something that one of the villains did to him. And they've been convinced that it's all been him, but it's actually been the villain. And he's telling, Garibaldi's telling him, Lita, like, hey, look at my mind, because she's a telepath. It's like, look at my mind, you'll see that this is why I've been acting this way and things like that. And Steven, he's like holding a gun to Garibaldi and goes, if you're lying to me, I'm going to kill you twice. I was like, yes, because that's something you can do. It's like, if you die, I'm going to kill you. It's like, yes, because that works. You know what I mean? And his response is just, you know what I mean. It's like, but I don't know what you mean. How can you kill me if I'm already dead? Oh, Dedu and Annie also have one. Sure, why not? Let's do all the Dedus, just because we haven't had Dedu in a while.
It's fine. Honestly,
All the supports too. Electric Boogaloo.
no kidding. And I didn't expect the two of us to get covered in hay.
Animals have never taken. It must be as you said. My face is the problem. I have not honed my smile well enough. I deeply regret the trouble I've caused you.
Smile.
Don't be ridiculous. And especially don't be sad. It's no trouble at all, I promise. Everyone makes mistakes. Isn't that what you've been trying to teach me?
Yes, I suppose so.
It does look like this will take a while to clean up. But if we work together, it'll be done in no time.
I am truly sorry.
Don't apologize. When it's your turn for stable duty, I'm happy to help.
Really?
Sure. And in return, you can help me out when I'm on kitchen duty.
Of course.
By the way, I tried out all that stuff you mentioned before, about how to not be a scatterbrain. I'm still pretty close, but thanks to you, I'm making fewer mistakes. It's probably not a good idea for me to be left alone around knives and boiling water, though. That's why it'll be really nice knowing you have my back.
You have changed.
You have changed.
You no longer fear approaching me for help. You simply ask. And now, when the need arises, I will rely on you, too.
Aww. That's cute. B+. Alright, well there's a couple more supports, but like you said, I think I don't know. Is it just these two? Screw it. It's just two. All the supports, two.
Electric Boogaloo.
There's only two. I'm not going to worry about it.
Guess Sylvain must still have it. Huh? When did this book get here?
Oh, yes. I've seen this one.
And there's something sticking out of it.
I think I saw this on Nico's.
Dear author, I read your manuscript quite by accident and duly apologize. However, I also write today to inform you that I enjoyed your story tremendously. I laughed and cried as the heroine overcame her many obstacles, growing stronger with each step. Your literary style presents a unique perspective. I could sense you watching over the protagonist. Wow, so many comments and so much attention to detail. The girl's failures are as compelling as her triumphs. Since authors are told to write what they know, I believe your tale would not have been so convincing were it not for your own experiences. What? My own experiences? That's a weird way to get
Sylvain did.
Who wrote this anyway? Who would read my story so carefully and then write this long letter to tell me about it? Whoever it is, they must be
Sylvain.
someone like my dear old uncle.
Unfortunately, it was Sylvain.
Inspired you.
Right.
Looking forward to the next chapter. Your destiny
That's Sylvain.
See?
What? Sylvain? It can't be.
Hey, you Bernadetta.
Standing there.
I'm sorry, but I fell head over heels.
Hey,
for your
Bernie.
story. It's so good.
He's not hitting on you.
Right?
So, what do you say? Will you write more? Why don't we talk literature over some tea?
I see.
There's the date.
You're out to humiliate me. Very clever, but I'm not falling for it.
Bernie, not everyone wants to humiliate you. No one wants to humiliate you except for maybe your father. But your father's an arse.
Yeah. But her father put it into her head so much. that now that's all she
Again,
knows.
her father's an arse.
Yeah.
Leonie? I thought Greenhouse.
And this is pre-time skip.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
This is a B rank, so.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure that if I ever do a Golden Deer run, I'll be able to see these in their intended, timeline and version, but
In the moment, I was hurt. I'm sure you had good reasons to act the way you did. If you want me to leave you alone, I will. I promise. You've got nothing to fear from me. Leonie.
but the fact that there's so many supports that are very clearly that they really only work pre-time skip is part of what bugs me about the ones where it's just like, oh, you're locked out of it because you didn't do the thing and get the support in time. It's like, but all these other supports, they're clearly set up to be before anything that's going on, and yet I can unlock them.
Hey, what is it? It's
It's a minor nitpick. It's just one of those okay, but I can't see such and such as support because it's locked behind a thing. Now I have to do an entirely new route to do it, to be able to see it. And some of them did do and the three heads and their three, except maybe Hilda, but they're the three heads and their three. They're locked to their routes. So if you miss something on one of them, say Edelgard, you miss to unlock something for Edelgard with a character where it's locked behind time lock. I would have to do the entire Black Eagle's route again. So it's I get that the supports is such that they're time sensitive, but I mean, this is Marianne's old personality, not her current. This seems time sensitive to me, And so it doesn't make sense that I can unlock it, despite the fact that, you know, it's clearly an old
Everyone, I'm coming.
pre-time skip.
I just don't know how to carry on a conversation.
So,
Hey, we're having one right now. And I'm telling you, I'm not uncomfortable. I'm actually really happy. So don't worry about me. And it's okay to be quiet sometimes. But try to find a middle ground at least. Otherwise, you'll never get any better. Oh. As far as what to talk about, anything's good. Hobbies, things you like, a dream you had last night. Really, anything. Okay then. I like this flower. I think it's nice. I think so too. Did you know that where I come from, those have a completely different color? Oh, really? I'd like to see that. Great. Come visit my village someday. In fact, we should invite all of our friends. It'll be fun. Oh, yes. That would be very exciting.
I like that all of Marianne's B support rank ones so far have always ended with this, like, hey, you know, you're better than you were, you know, you're better than you think you are, and she starts feeling like that. You know?
Yeah. Which is
Really
why
nice.
I feel like it's all the more sad that if it's not, if the professor is not there, even with all these other friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can
But
understand that
that's
too.
how it often is for people in that sort of mindset.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
They can be surrounded by all the friends in the world, yet still feel like it's not worth anything.
right.
And honestly, I bet there's people out there who may be watching this who need to hear this, but my heart goes out to you, and it... While it may not seem like it's worth the fight, it is. Because every day that you're here is a day that you make someone else's life brighter.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this is, you know, I don't know fully your, you know, backstory, I guess you could say. But while I've never, like, fully, you know, attempted, I mean, because I can say, you know, I've never succeeded, and that's obvious, but, you know, I've never even fully attempted, but I have been at that point where I've been like, hey, you know, this is, like, I'm, like, on the edge here, you know, and it really is this unfortunate thing when something can push you beyond, you know, like, it doesn't seem to matter, like you said, how much, like, how many people there are that love you, care for you, or so on, you know. And you know, sometimes it is a matter of that there just isn't anybody, and that really makes me sad. Because I know that I'm in a very similar, I don't think that there's nobody, obviously, you know, all of you on my Discord and such, all of you care, but there's also only so much you can do being online. But I am in that situation where I live in a household where everybody says they care, but you can very clearly tell that they don't by their actions. And it really sucks because you know that there are people out there that are in a situation similar to me, and there's people in worse situations where their family just straight up tells them they don't care and also don't act like they care. You know, I'm fortuitous enough, I guess I could say, to be in a family that at least tries to pretend like they care, even though I know they don't. I know that sounds terrible for me to say something like that, but, like, that's also just the way that everything is, like, I've been straight up told, that the real me, the person I am here online, Sureen, Emily, etc., is this horrible creature, abomination, that basically, if I were to, go down the HRT and SRS and stuff like that route and actually, try to change, I would be 110% excommunicated from the family, just for doing that, which is, and like, that's why I know, it's not that I think that they don't care, which a lot of people have told me. They're just like, well, you just think they don't care, that you are actually cared for and they actually love you more than it. No, because they don't believe I exist, And I know that sounds weird to say, but they literally have told me that the female me is not real. That I'm a terrible person for wanting to do that, etc. And they care about the person that they think I am. They don't care about the me that is the real me. And that's why I say they don't care about me, is because they don't care about the real me. They care about who they think I am. And as that's not me, that, the fact that they hate the real me, like, that just tells you right there. They legitimately don't like the real me. They hate the real me, etc. And so to some level, because of that, I absolutely understand and can say that I am in that position where other people would say, well, I don't have anybody who cares about me. I don't have any family members who care about me, and they always tell me that they don't care about me and so on. I am in that position, but the me that they think is real. Also, hey, Happy finally got her classification. Like, they don't, like, they hate, etc. And again, coming from somebody, coming from myself, who has attempted, but not, attempted to attempt, but has never succeeded, in attempting. I know that sounds weird, but I don't know how else to say it. But for somebody like me, like, that is just some, one thing that I've gone through. And my heart does go out to anybody who, just doesn't have anybody to help them and support them. I know there's people that care about me. I know there's people that know who the real me is and believe in the real me, etc. But it's just not, like, it really is that I think that, honestly, if I wasn't in the position I am, nowadays, I don't know that I would even still be alive, just because I honestly think that the only reason is because of the people that I have met here. My depression was never terrible when I was living up in Michigan, because I did have people and I interacted with people and they believed in me and cared about me, and I had that physically. Now that I don't have that physically in real life, I don't have that same level of support. And it sucks. It really does. And especially this last almost 2 years now that I've been completely disabled, it's really drained on my emotions and things. It really has. And I can't state enough just how important it is to have people, because literally I posted this on my webcomic a couple years back, where I told one of my artists, I had somebody draw a comic for one of my artists, and in the comic I literally told them, you don't realize, but honestly, if it hadn't been for this, if it hadn't been for you, I legitimately don't know that I would be alive today, because they're the ones that have helped me. They're the ones that have kept me sane. They were the ones that have, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just so important, it really is, so.
And I can say that for a fact because I am also one of those people. I am the rock for someone else.
Yeah.
I am the only reason that they are still walking on this earth.
No, there's no paralogs this month. Well, there might be after. But yeah, I completely agree. I completely understand, too.
I've also been in that position where I have seriously contemplated taking my life because it just did not feel worth it to keep living.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Of course, that was many, many years ago for me.
Right. That's unfortunately me kind of now, right now, with all I've been going through. It's one of the things that's been keeping me steady and holding me on right now has been this hope that, and this is going to go up for my doctor's appointment literally like 3 days from now. Or this is going to go up after, I mean. But that's one of the things that I've been holding on to is just a few more days to that doctor's appointment, and then maybe then I'll get some kind of diagnosis that will tell me, hey, this is what's wrong, this is something that can be done to help, and so on. But
and I know another thing that with everything going on with the pandemic right now, it's draining my mental state, not being able to hang out with my friends and relax and play Magic. Like, seriously, I just want to sit down and play cards. Let me sit down and play cards.
Yeah.
I want to cast my big stumpy dinos and tap them.
Allow me, as a professional recluse with experience, to volunteer for...
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding? The fighting won't stop until we've defeated Adolf.
Oh yeah, no, I completely understand and agree. I mean, think about how I felt the last almost 2 years, not being able to get out or anything. I have had 0 friends since I came down here to live in North Carolina. Like 9 years ago. No, 10 now. It would be 10. Because we're in... No, it would be 9 as of this year, actually, because it was 2011.
I know I am so lucky to have been able to get a friend group on the college campus.
Yeah.
I don't recall whether it was before or after I joined your...
And I am so grateful for that, even if the guys are lacking in things.
Not at all the case, Professor. Your memory...
After all, I can't
It was shortly
exactly be openly honest with them about girl things, you know?
Yeah.
They're guys, after all. There's just gonna be some things they just won't get.
Yeah. I do understand that, so...
But they're still my friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's so important to have friends and have, home group, I guess you could call it, maybe not necessarily people in your home, but people where you consider it home, it's your friend group, I guess, is another term that people could use for it.
I mean, a term that's very apt for my group of friends is they're my pod.
Yeah.
They're my table.
Pod.
Well, that's because a commander game is typically a commander pod, because commander Magic the Gathering format, it is a multiplayer game. You have 4 or more players at the table.
They had unique dialogue, and now she has like dialogue because of it. It's I love the storytelling in this game. Sorry, I am obviously paying attention, and focus on what we're saying more than what's going on in the game. I'm just moving around in the game right now because I don't want it to be blank screen, but like I just saw that and it's just like my heart's wrenching. So
but yeah,
There's really something wrong with a lot of it, I swear.
I agree though. It really is like it's super important, and I know that there's a lot of people. I know that there are people out there that are like me. They're autistic or something like that, where having friends is difficult. You know, being autistic makes you desire and prefer to be by yourself. But even so, it's still important to have something,
After all, even my younger brother, who this isn't common knowledge, but he too is autistic. Even he has been wanting to get in contact with some of the people from school, and he typically hates school, by the way.
Right.
He wants to get in contact with those people he's met at school because
I've got something to report.
that's familiar to him at this point because he started going to one of the after-school clubs.
Folks up top.
Right.
Are in the mood to celebrate, though.
Everything going on with the pandemic has disrupted his schedule so much that my mom doesn't even know how to comfort him right now.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, that is also a huge problem for autistic people, is that it does affect their schedule. And it, like, something like this does affect their schedule. And, like, for some people, for a non-autistic person, it's like, oh, your schedule got messed up. Oh, boo-hoo, because they can live with that. They don't have any problems going day by day and just, doing their thing. But something to understand, especially about autism, is that it is this need. It's not even a desire. It's a need for there
A need for structure.
Structure, formality, things like that. And when something does disrupt that, like when I was working at Wendy's there for 6 years, I had structure. I had order. Everything. Yes, I hated working there. But at least, when I was working there, I went to work at the time that I went to work. It was almost always the same time. So I went to work. I did my job. I did my things. And that was structure. That was order. That was, anyway. But it was that. And when I got disabled, the first couple of months of that were honestly some of the worst couple of months of my life, because every other day was a doctor's visit, which, let me tell you, that's not fun. Regardless of whether you're autistic or not, that nobody wants to go through that. And every other day is a doctor's visit. One day you're going to the doctor, and then 2 days later you're being rushed to the ER on an ambulance because your pain is so bad that you literally cannot breathe. And you're like asphyxiating here. Literally, I went through this. And it's like I did. If it hadn't been for people calming me down and things like that, I honestly was, before the ambulance showed up and they talked to me and helped calm me down and stuff like that, gave me IVs and stuff. Like, I was at the point where I was basically like, I'm just gonna die because I'm basically asphyxiating here because I can't breathe. And it's so important for, and that's just because of the pain. But like, it's part of that was still because I was going to doctors so often, I was starting to get this, like, I'm just not okay. I'm dying, you know. I still feel like that even now, I'm going to be honest with you. But it really is that, like, you have to have structure, otherwise everything feels like it is breaking down. It is not a want, it is a need. And I know a lot of people don't understand that, because if you're not autistic, it's hard to understand what it is like to be autistic. But it really isn't a desire. It is an absolute 110%. This is what I need in order to even live day by day. And something like this pandemic completely screws that up. And you're just like, what do I do? You know?
And it's like,
Concerned, are you? That's nice.
I'm the one person
Here's
in
a warning.
my family
If anyone
who can
here asks you for a favor,
actually get my brother to be okay with his schedule being disrupted.
Right.
And it's like, I don't even know how I'm able to do it. But it's like, I just have, well, firstly, I have to actually be there in person to be able to do it.
Right.
But it's like, he's my little brother. I know him like the back of my own hand.
he's a respectable soldier.
And
Right.
I can get him from full-blown tantrum to thinking reasonably.
Just last night, he and Felix had a chat. I'm sure there's a lot to work out between them.
Yeah.
Which is really hard when he and my dad have been going at it.
Yeah.
Because my brother and my dad are practically cut from the same cloth. I have to say practically because my dad's not autistic, but
Right. Yeah.
they are both equally stubborn.
When you saw me here, I'm in hiding from the army.
So when you have two stubborn people
I had to get away.
who get frustrated
Deserted. I can't go.
and then raise their voices and then don't listen to the other and then raise their voices even more.
Yeah. No. And that, you know, going back to my time at Wendy's, I know I turned to that quite a bit, but that was 6 years of my life, especially knowing that I was autistic during it. And I can't tell you how many times there were where I fought with the general manager of the store
My hometown was
because of what was, you know, just because I was autistic. And there was some little thing that was disrupting something in how I was working, and I didn't mean to go off, but I did. And if there's one person that you don't want to go off on, it's obviously the general manager, because they are the highest person. They can look at you and fire you like that, no problem. You know, because it's their store.
It takes
You know?
special people who to work with someone who has autism.
Oh, yeah.
Like, truly special and talented and lovely people. Because you need to have insane levels of patience and empathy and just
Right.
the ability to calm people down.
It marked
Oh,
the
yeah.
start of our incursion into the Empire.
And I'm like that's one thing I'm so glad about, is that Mike, the general manager that I was working with, he, like, I swear he was either autistic or bipolar, because he had moments where he just snaps and he would go off on people. But it was just like me, where he would snap, he'd go off on people, and then a few minutes later, if you let him calm down, he's fine. And, you know, he was quite a few years older than me. He was in his 30s when I was working there, and I was only in my 20s when I was working there. I'm 31 now, but I was only in my 20s when I was working there. He was already in his 30s. And, like, but, like, again, I don't know that he was autistic or anything. He might have been bipolar, but whatever it was, he seemed to have this understanding of how I was, and maybe he just understood because he knew me well enough, and that's entirely possible.
Maybe I'll just...
You know, he had seen me at my best and seen me at my worst and knew that my worst was not because of me, you know. It was the stuff going around. You know, maybe he just knew that's not me, that's just me at my worst. I don't know what it was, honestly, but he was always so forgiving, so calm. Yes, we had times where we fought, like, no joke. We straight up sat there and yelled at each other, 100%. But even in all of those times where he would yell at me and I would yell back and we would get into a big fight, he never came up to me during work or anything, threatened my job, wrote me up, anything like that. Because he seemed to understand, if I'm acting like that, that's not me. Or if it is me, it's not me. It's the autism.
It was because something was wrong.
Yeah, it's because something was wrong. Also, this monk is just not loading in. And I'm so thankful that I worked with him for as long as I did. And when it came down to, because he was the co-manager, basically next in line to become GM if the GM ever quit. And when the GM got fired for stealing money, he became the GM. And when he did become the GM, he became in charge of everything. He had to work more during the day than the nights like he was used to. And when I started fighting with the managers on the night shift and getting these, we started getting these complaints about me and, that something was going on, his response wasn't to write me up for it. I mean, he had to, because, he wrote me up once over it, simply because he had no choice. Literally, the owner was like, you've got to write them up over this. He tried to explain and tell him. And he flat out told me that. He's like, I don't want to do this, because this isn't your fault, and I know it. But because of the nature of the complaint and because it went all the way up to the owner, I don't have a choice. I'm like, I understand that immediately. But it was never his choice to write me up over these things. And instead of threatening my job, writing me up over these things every time there was a complaint, etc., instead he stopped working me at night with the other managers and put me on his shifts. And all of a sudden, there's no complaints and all this and that. And it's like, it's because he knew and he understood. And yeah, honestly, there's a lot of people, I think, that, I'm not a religious person. I don't know that I believe in heaven and an afterlife. But if there is one and we do all get to go to it and I do see them in that afterlife, like, I'm going to be walking up to them and being like, hey, you kept me alive for 3, 4, etc., however many years of my life. And you don't even realize, because they really have, And
Yeah.
I'm like trying not to like get emotional and cry here, but I really am. This is such a deep and important thing, and it's so ingrained in my heart, I guess is the term. I'm not even sure if that's the right term, but it's just such a part of me, that it's so important, because I know what I've been through, and I know what everybody's been, I know what other people have been through, and my experiences may not be the same as theirs, but I know what it's like to be transsexual, or transgender, or whichever term you prefer to use. I still don't know, because I actually got yelled at by a trans person for saying I was transsexual, because apparently they thought that was like they thought that was rude or something. Can't think of the right word. But
as much as the real talk is important,
mean.
Yeah,
We are at 2
this
hours.
is at 2 hours. I was thinking about the idea of possibly breaking it up between, but I don't know.
But it is also 2 a.m.
It is also 2 a.m., yeah. So, I mean, you guys will know what we did with this episode or 2 episodes after. It'll probably end up going up as one just because I hate editing and I don't really want to try to find the right spot that I think fits as a good split.
I mean, we can also just name this episode So Many Supports Too, Electric Boogaloo, and Real Talk.
And Real Talk, yeah. I mean, it might just be called Real Talk. Just so that people don't see so many supports and then it's 2 hours long and people are like, that's a lot of supports. I don't know if I want to watch that, you know. So,
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It depends. I might, again, you guys, the viewers, will know what I did. I'm currently thinking about the idea of just breaking it at the end of the supports where I'm like, oh, it's not enough for the episode. I might just break it there. That way the next is only like an hour and a half long. But yeah, the real talk is important. And and I'll say this to kind of end off the real talk, I guess, just because we do, as much as the real talk is important, we do have lives, or at least Mist has a life anyway. And she needs to get to bed.
Not much of one, but it is there.
It is there. More than what I've got. I mean, you've got friends in real life, regardless of how many.
Don't waste your energy.
Whoops. But yeah, and like I said, I'll end it off with this and say, I said this in one of my Breath of the Wild episodes, but I will say it again here for anybody who is new, who hasn't seen Breath of the Wild, etc. Like, I may not be, a psychiatrist or therapist or anything. I may just be the random YouTuber that you watch on YouTube. Find an herb will help calm nerves of the soldier in the nice house. We find them growing in the greenhouse, okay. But I'm such a small YouTuber, and if you feel like the only person you can talk to is me, I do check every comment. I only get 1 or 2 a video anyway, so it's really not hard to check. So,
and it's the Discord's there too.
Yeah. Especially, feel free, that's one reason I have the Discord server. There is a link down below in the description. Feel free to come by, There's usually somebody there. I say usually because I'm usually up till 6 in the morning. And then sometime after 6 in the morning, somebody else is usually up. We can't guarantee that somebody's always going to be there. But it seems like with as many people as we have, there's got to be at some point, if nothing else, you might have to hold off an hour or something, but somebody will see your message, But, if you really are in just that desperate of a need, there is the Discord server. You can come down, just scroll down a little bit, check the link in the description. It links you right to it. If you watch, older episodes, the link doesn't work because I messed something up. But the newer episodes have. So this episode definitely does. So
the most important thing for you guys to keep in mind is you matter. Everyone who is walking this earth matters. For one reason or another, you matter.
Right. And trust me, we both understand that thought that immediately went in your head of, well, you say that, but I know I don't. Trust me, I know. I go through that thought every day. So.
I mean, I sat here in this chair for months. Well, I say in this chair. I've sat here for months just going through the motions of living because I didn't feel like I really had a reason to be here. I didn't feel like I had a reason to either be in the ground or somewhere else. So it's just like, I just stuck around and, well, now I have things to do, things I need to do. Yeah, sure, I put up with pain every day, but it's like there's people who need me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, especially, if your depression comes from pain, like, trust me, both Miss and I know exactly how that is. Did they ever figure out what your problem was?
No, I'm still undiagnosed.
I wonder if it might be fibromyalgia.
Was tested.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I was tested for.
Wow.
But it's like, I personally know what it's from.
Okay.
I know what caused it. It's just, there's nothing that can be done about it.
Right. And I completely understand that, too. So... But yeah, like I said, both Miss and I, like, that is our daily life. It's just pain, trust me. It just, like, 2 days ago, I was walking around with 2 knee braces and a back brace, because for some odd reason, all the pain in my back had decided that it wanted to go ahead and stretch out to my legs, as well as creep over my back into the front of my chest, right around the shoulder area, not in the shoulders, but below the shoulders, on the front, on my chest. That hurt. That's level 9, maybe even 10 level pain the entire day. Trust me, we understand pain. We really do. We understand feeling pain all the time and also going through the motions of your daily life. Just hoping that one day, maybe, there might be a day where the pain lessens.
I mean, I know, like, earlier today, even, there was a time where I couldn't leave the house because I couldn't put weight on my feet.
Right.
Kind of hard to walk when you can't put weight on your feet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why I had to wear the 2 knee braces a couple of days ago, because freaking, if I stood up, it literally felt like somebody was taking needles and stabbing my knees. And that hurts. Like, that is not a fun feeling. Especially when you're trying to walk, and every step, it just feels like, for some reason, you don't know who it is doing it, but somebody has decided that you are their personal stabby. And
but anyways, again,
yeah,
you guys matter. We're always here to listen and for you guys to talk to.
Right.
And as always, we do hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, that everything's going well for you guys, even with the pandemic and all of that stuff's going on.
Oh,
again,
yeah.
Have a wonderful day. we sincerely wish you all the best.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I know I'm just sitting here going, oh, yes, absolutely, yes. But, like, that's all I have to say, because it's simple. What am I going to say? The same words? Do you want me to say the same words? I can say the same words twice. I have no problems repeating her same words if it'll get it in your head, But yes, so again, we really do hope. We really do hope that everybody is having the best time that they can in our current situation. Yes, it's not going to be the best time it can be, but it can be the best time that it can be in the current situation. So, and yes, please don't be like Marianne, because while we may not know you, we would be sad if we found out. And that would be sad. So...
I'm not overly concerned about
It's like, be like Marianne in this timeline.
Right.
Stick around.
Yes. Even if you're sticking around because of one person, like, if there's one person, you know, Marianne has, you know, Sureen here. Sureen, Shalera, Byleth, well, all the names I've used for her in my, you know, videos and things like that. People, you know...
Bizlead!
Yeah, I was just going to say Bizlead, you know, all the names that anybody has used for Byleth here, you know, male or female, you know. Yeah, you know, look, yes, Marianne has had all those people, but remember that Marianne only sticks around because of Byleth, and so even if it is just one person, you know, maybe that one person is all you need to see all of the other people that are important in your life, you know? So, think about it like this. With Byleth, Marianne survives. With Byleth, Marianne gets B rank or higher supports with all of these people and realizes that she does in fact matter. All of this is because of one person. And maybe you just need that one person. There's going to be, it may not feel like it now, but there will be that one person somewhere in your life. So.
And who knows? You may be that one person for someone else.
Right, especially. So, hey, considering that I didn't read that, I literally opened that up. My mind was thinking about something else. I read that first line. I was like, sure, that sounds good. Anyway, we hope that you guys have enjoyed this, or these, or whatever they are, episodes. If you have, feel free to subscribe. Yes, we do a lot of real talk, but that's because it's important, you know? And again, just as we said, we are here, you know, come into this, you know, check the video description down below for a link to the playlist so you can get caught up on any episodes, but also check the video description down below for a link to the Discord, because there are people there, and we would love to talk to you. And you know, if you come to my Discord, and there's just nobody that can help you, I can lead you to Zine's Discord if you're not already in it, because he's got like 50,000 people in there. Somebody will help you out.
Exactly. It's like, if we can't help you, we can expand your network of people so you can find someone who can help.
Right. And trust me, like, I'm in Zine's Discord, and I may have never talked or anything, but watching Zine's videos, you know, if nobody knows who Zine is, he is another YouTuber, but watching his videos makes me laugh, gives me hope for the day. And so, like I said, if I can't help you, I can at least link you to Zine. And maybe somebody there can help you, you know, because the main reason I think about him is because in his Twitch and in his Discord and on his YouTube, he's got, like, links to, like, suicide, trans, etc. hotlines and stuff like that. So when I think, like, somebody who cares, like, he's the first person I think of. So, but yeah. Well, with that, I guess, at least I really hope that we will, in fact, see you guys next time.
Indeed. Again, have a wonderful day, everyone. See you guys next time.
See you later.